everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am Cynthia, also known as Creative Mama of 3 on here YouTube and on Instagram. And today is day 4 of Vlogmas. Yay! Okay, so today I have a cup of coffee with another penguin mug. I told you I had a lot of these. This is already, I think, the 5th one that I've used thus far, if you also count my announcement video. So this one here has a whole bunch of penguins on it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ooh, and a bonus, 6 penguins, and it says deck the halls, just deck the halls 3 times. Okay, so it's a little mug, but holds just the right amount of coffee. Okay, so now let's get started with Vlogmas number 4. Okay, so today is a sewing Vlogmas. My daughter told me like 2 days ago that next week is Spirit Week for their school, and naturally everything is revolving around Christmas and the holidays. So for Monday was pajama day. So I had made a pair of pajamas for my daughter for Christmas last year, but I made her shorts and a shirt. So she wanted to wear pants. So I did have plenty of fabric left over to make her pants. And the pattern I used, this is the the third time that I've made this pattern here. It is Simplicity 8022. I really like this pattern because, as you can see, there's only one piece. Well, 2 pieces, because you have to cut out 2 pieces of it, but it's only one pattern piece. You fold the fabric in half. You do have to be careful, though, because if you fold it in half a certain way and your pattern is directional, it's going to come upside down on the other side. Luckily for me, the pattern that the fabric that we are using, it is non-directional, because they have some that are upside down, some are, they're all twisted each way, which I'll show you in a moment. So I didn't have to worry about that. I could just fold it in half, and it was fine. So, but I did have to cut it on my dining room table because it's kind of a big piece. So I actually filmed some of the process of me making this that I thought you would enjoy. It's not like a full-fledged tutorial, but it will give you some ideas. This is a pretty easy pattern to work with. So I will insert it here. Enjoy. And this is what I do. I know there's 2 kinds of people in this world, people who cut the big 4 patterns and use it, and there are some that trace. I am a tracer just of the big 4 patterns. If it's a PDF, then I just print as needed, but every single person in my house is a different size. So I would like to, even though I think I got this pattern probably for 99 cents at Joann's sale, I still would like to use it as long as possible and as much as possible. So I have a big roll here. I think it's 36 inches. This roll of tracing paper that I got on Amazon, I think for like 25 bucks. I have used it so far for over a year, and I still have some left. So I did trim it a little bit, so I have it's maybe an inch bigger than the extra large, which is the biggest size for this pattern, and I am going to be tracing a large for my daughter. So then I can use this pattern over and over and over again. I already made my husband a pair out of the extra large, and then I also made my daughter a pair, my eldest daughter, with the small. So I already used this 99-cent pattern twice. And I did never trace in a large, so once I trace this large, I will have that, and I won't have to use this pattern anymore. Okay, so here's the finished product of me tracing out the pattern. I make sure to trace all the important marks. Now these are just pajama bottoms, so the only really important things are the notches, so that I can make sure I line it up. So then all I need to do is cut this out, and then cut the fabric out. And then these pajamas would probably take an hour to make. Okay, so I had pinned my pattern piece that I traced onto the fabric. I had to do all this on my dining room table because my usual cutting area was not big enough. Since this is the front and back piece and there is no side seam, this pattern piece is pretty large, even on the size small that I did for my other daughter. So now I just need to cut out my notches, which there's my scissor right here. Now, cutting out the notches is extremely important because this helps guarantee that your pattern pieces are lined up properly and definitely. Okay, so I'm just going to cut out the notches. This is for the back. The back is usually 3 on pants and 2 on shirts. There we go. And then this is the front. I don't know, out of habit I always cut my fabric with right sides up. I don't know, if I probably did it wrong sides up, I wouldn't have to flip it to sew it. But now I'm going to take all my pins out and we shall sew. Now one tip that I did, and when I was taking my sewing classes, the sewing teacher thought was a good idea, so I thought I would share it. When I pin the corners, I don't know if you could, where is it? There it is. When I pin the corners, I have the pin go all the way to the edge. I just feel that it's better, it secures it better when I go to the edges. And then naturally for everything else, I just do it sideways. But whenever there's a point, I try and do it that way. And for me, it holds it down nicely and it gives me a nice little crisp edge. Okay, I turned the fabric right sides together, and you're going to sew like the crotch seams together. And here are the 2 notches. So the 2 notches go together here. You're gonna line up. This is the waist seam. And then those are the notches, and then this is the point of the crotch. So I am going to pin those together, the fronts and the backs together, and I'll show you what it looks like before I sew it. Okay, as you can see, it pretty much looks exactly like it did when I was cutting it out. All I did is now I have right sides together, wrong sides facing up. And as you could see, I pinned along this edge and I pinned along this edge to here, and then I'm just going to sew those up, and one would be the front, which I think the front would be the one that's higher and the back is longer, and then I'll sew those up and then I will put them together so that you could see how it is. Like this is the I think that's the front seam, that's the front seam, and then that's the back seam. Okay, this is my lovely machine. I love this machine. I've had this machine probably for 30 years. It's a Singer. I don't know the model of it. It doesn't say anywhere on the machine. But as you can see, the last item I made was my daughter's penguin top. So it is on the knit settings. So I'm just going to push that there for the straight stitch. And then I'm going to turn that to that. And then that does my straight stitch for me, and I always do it on a 2. I find a 2 is not too big, not too small, and it's all threaded and I bobbin, and I'm just using a white all-purpose. This is an old thread, 2 for $1 at Walmart. I do not think those are the prices that are today, but that is what I'm using, and it works. Okay, as you can see, the pins are gone. This seam is sewn. That seam is sewn, and now for the next step, we are going to put this seam and that seam together, and I will show you how. Okay, so here are the pants. I have this seam sewn. I have this seam sewn. So what we're going to do is we're going to open them up because we need to finish. We need to now do the inseam. So what we do is we take it like that. So now that these 2 seams are together, this is the waistband And then this is the crotch, and now look, they look like pants. So now what I do, this is the crotch area. So what I like to do is I like to put them together, as line them up as close as possible. And then I like to do one way and the other way. And then I'm going to pin from here down to the ankle, and then I'm going to go back to here, pin there, down to the ankle, and then I'm going to sew it the same way, because I definitely want to make sure that my crotch seams are perfectly aligned, because if these are not aligned, it's going to make it a little uncomfortable to wear, and I want my daughter to be comfortable. These are pajamas, so they need to be comfortable. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'll show you what they look like. Okay, so here are the finished pair. Yay! They look great on her. I will insert a picture here. They fit her perfectly. Just had even the length fits her great and everything, so she's gonna look so spiffy when she goes to school on Monday wearing these. I'm gonna give you a little close-up of the fabric. It is breakfast. It has pancakes, it has fried eggs, some toast, like a bowl of cereal, some waffles. It is great. I had so much of this fabric. I had originally made her a nightgown, and she didn't like it because this is flannel. It doesn't have a stretch to it, so I think that at least the pattern that I used for her nightgown wasn't that comfortable because it didn't lend itself to the stretching, the non-stretching of it. I think it was meant for a knit for that particular nightgown. But I have made her a top. I made her long shorts, like down to the knees, and now I made her pants, and I still got probably another pair of pants or something, or maybe another top, maybe enough. My daughter picked this out. She loved it. It took a couple of years for me to make something out of it, because I wanted to make sure that since she loved this fabric so much, that I wanted to make sure that my skills were good enough to make something that she could wear and be proud of. So that will be all for me today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up. That'd be greatly appreciated. And thank you for watching. And I hope where you are, the sun is shining, the weather's beautiful, and you have time to be creative every day, even if it's just for a little bit. So thank you for watching. Bye.